You made $31,200 this morning. And nobody in this coffee shop would ever believe it. Not the barista with the pencil behind her ear. Not the college kid typing furiously beside the window. Not the guy in the business suit arguing over a meeting that probably could have been an email. Because to them, you look painfully ordinary. Black t-shirt. Cheap coffee. Old Honda parked outside. The kind of guy people stop noticing after 3 seconds. Your phone vibrates. You glance down. Just once. 14 rent payments received, $31,200 deposited. You lock the screen. Turn the phone face down. Take another sip of coffee. No excitement. No dramatic reaction. No celebration. Because after a while, money stops feeling loud and starts feeling invisible. But 11 years ago? You had exactly $46 in your checking account. A job you hated. A future that felt smaller every month. And the thing that changed everything was a broken vending machine. Every Tuesday. Same coffee shop. Same corner booth. 8:47 a.m. Almost down to the minute. The barista thinks you're a freelance accountant. She said it once, laughing. You have spreadsheet energy. You laughed too. Yeah, something like that. You never corrected her. You stopped correcting people years ago. Because explaining what you actually do never goes the way people think. The moment people hear words like properties, cash flow, business acquisitions, equity, something changes. You've watched it happen. Their eyes adjust. Their tone shifts. Suddenly, they're calculating, comparing, wondering, sometimes asking for things. So you learn something valuable. The quieter you become, the more peaceful life gets. Outside, your car sits parked at the curb. A 2018 Honda CR-V. 84,000 miles. Coffee stain on the passenger seat from 2 years ago. You still haven't cleaned it. Never really cared enough to. People underestimate Hondas. That's part of the appeal. Underestimation is protection. Nobody bothers ordinary people. Nobody suspects ordinary and ordinary people get left alone. You like being left alone. But it wasn't always like this. 11 years ago. You were miserable. Not dramatically miserable. Quietly miserable. The kind where nothing is technically wrong. But something inside you has already given up. You still showed up to work. Still answered emails. Still smiled in meetings. But deep down, you already knew. If life stayed exactly like this, you were going to hate it. 210, the broken vending machine. Tuesday afternoon. Break room. Logistics company. Columbus, Ohio. Marcus from accounting slams his hand against the vending machine. Twice. The machine had eaten his dollar bill again. Third time that month. Of course, he muttered. Then walked away hungry. You stood there for a moment. Just staring at it. 300 employees in the building. 300 people needing coffee. Snacks. Energy drinks. Something sweet around 3 p.m. to survive the afternoon. And somehow, this machine barely worked. The company managing it clearly didn't care. Too small of an account. Too inconvenient. Too forgettable. Most people walked away. Complained. Moved on. But for some reason, you couldn't stop thinking about it. That night, cold pasta sitting untouched on the stove. You started doing math. 300 employees. 5-day workweek. Average snack purchases. Margins. Placement fees. Maintenance costs. You stayed up until 1:12 a.m. looking at numbers that suddenly felt strangely alive. The next morning, you started making calls. 6 vending companies. 5 said no. 1 listened. A leasing deal. Nothing fancy. Just barely enough to make sense. Then came the harder part. Convincing the building manager. You offered him 15% of gross sales. Exclusive placement. Simple. Fair. He agreed. Handshake in a conference room on a Thursday. And that weekend, you borrowed your friend Travis's pickup truck. Didn't tell him why. Didn't want questions. Didn't want opinions. Didn't want someone explaining why it was stupid. Because honestly, part of you thought it was stupid too. You remember standing in your bathroom mirror, asking yourself out loud, what exactly are you doing? You were 26. Installing vending machines on weekends, while everyone else your age was posting engagement photos, getting promotions, talking about vacations. And somehow, you were excited about potato chip inventory. It felt ridiculous. But then, the first month ended. Profit. $340. Not revenue. Profit. After every expense. $340. Most people would have laughed at that number. You almost did too. But something strange happened. For the first time in years, you felt possibility. Not fantasy. Not motivation. Not some late-night self-help energy. Possibility. Real. Quiet. Boring possibility. And that changed everything. Most people looked at places like that and saw something depressing. You looked at it and saw math. Predictable customers. Predictable habits. Predictable cash flow. You paid $43,000. Cash. Upgraded 3 machines. Installed card readers. Hired a manager named Sandra. Sandra had worked in dry cleaning for over a decade. Knew everything. Fixed problems before they happened. Revenue jumped 40%. 8 months. And in those 8 months, you visited twice. Once to sign paperwork. Once because Sandra called saying, you need to see this coin machine with your own eyes. Truthfully, it wasn't about the coin machine. Sandra just wanted to know what kind of owner you were. You showed up. Listened. Solved it. Trust built itself quietly after that. That's another thing nobody talks about. Wealth isn't built by controlling everything. It's built by finding people better than you at specific things. Then trusting them. Most people micromanage. You learn to disappear. Good systems don't need applause. They just work. Then came parking lots. 2 of them. Found through tax lien notices buried online. Wednesday night. 10:45 p.m. Bowl of cereal in your lap. Nobody reads city notices. Nobody. That's exactly why opportunities live there. Combined income? $4,400 a month. Managed by someone else. No drama. No headaches. Then storage units. Then ATMs. Then a small commercial cleaning company. Its owner. Frank. 62 years old. Tired. Wanted someone who'd take care of his people. You met in a Panera. He looked nervous. Like he was handing over part of himself. He said something you never forgot. I don't want the highest bidder. He paused. I want someone who won't destroy what I built. You told him. I'll take care of it. And you meant it. That mattered to you. More than numbers ever did. Because eventually, you stopped seeing businesses as money machines. You started seeing them as systems people relied on. Workers. Customers. Families. Rent checks. Night shifts. Real life. And somehow, that responsibility made you work harder. Not softer. The silence came naturally after a while. Not because you were hiding. Because peace became valuable. You noticed something strange. The second people know you're successful, the relationship changes. Sometimes subtly. Sometimes instantly. Suddenly. You're not a friend anymore. You're a possibility. A solution. Someone they hope can save them. And that part? That part hurts more than people realize. Your friend Ryan. Good man. Really good man. Coaches his daughter's soccer team. Always insists on paying the bill when he can. He once told you over drinks. Man. I just need one break. He'd been saying that for years. And the truth? You could have solved most of his problems with one check. Just one. But you didn't. Not because you didn't care. Because you'd learned something painful years ago. Money doesn't fix bad habits. It accelerates them. You learned that lesson. The expensive way.